My name is Sourabh Nolkha. I'm the founder of Zen Statement, an AI powered cash flow management and financial analytics company. From a qualification perspective, I'm a qualified chartered accountant and an alumni of ISB from class of 2017. I've been around in the finance domain for about 20 years now. Started with Deloitte, working in the audit team, and then followed by about 7 years stint in the tech consulting, building for finance, both in India and US, with companies like Deloitte and Infosys. Um, Post that, I returned back to India in 2016 and joined ISB. And post ISB, I've been with the corporate finance function and have worked as a finance leader in multiple traditional businesses as well as new age startups like Mensa Brands and Itilite. During my stint as a corporate finance leader, I had the privilege and first-hand exposure to the challenges faced by the finance professionals across all velocity businesses. When I say high velocity business, these are businesses with high volume transactions with a specific challenge, which is that at every transaction level, your cash flows and P&L could be different. It starts with the problem of handling multiple sources of data and requiring a lot of massaging to be able to reconcile the transactions. And then the endless exercise of slicing and dicing this data for the purpose of decision making, but you hardly have any time to actually take any decision before you have to do it all over again. Now, let me introduce you to the project Nova and its three musketeers. We started to deconstruct the CFO stack starting at the transaction level. How can we make the everyday transaction processing easier? Our first AI agent in that process is called Agentfill, whose main role is to be able to gather data from different internal and external sources and ingest it in a central data lake. Our next AI agent is called Agent Cube, like Rubik's Cube, and its role is to be able to reconcile different data sources and build understanding and relationship between them to be able to unearth any discrepancies, leakages, and edge cases. And our last agent is called Agent Seer, like somebody who helps you to identify hidden treasures. Its role is to be able to interact with the user, perform data analytics to identify trends and anomalies, and present it in an actionable form. Now, with these solutions in place, we've been able to save almost 70% of the time for the finance associates at the ground level and for the senior finance leadership to upgrade their focus to exception handling instead of identifying the gaps. Now, first, let me address the elephant in the room here. Because you're dealing with the financial data, how do you address the concern around the accuracy of the output? So there are two methodologies we follow in the process. First is we build a testing agents whose main job is to be able to do a background test every time a query is asked to be able to ensure that the input that is coming in that has been used for the purpose of generating the output and the output itself is what it is supposed to be, right? The second thing that we did is that for us to be able to do a continuous improvement on it, there is a clarification agent that has been built in the background, whose main job is to understand what are the underlying assumptions that are used when we are kind of generating the output and present it to the user so that we can learn from the user feedback. Now, from the data security perspective, there is a Chinese wall that has been built between different customer data, and we have created small language models to work on the localized data while allowing the conceptual learning that has to happen between the SLMs and build a LLM which is specific to a sector. Now, what sets us apart in this process is that we have the most granular transaction level data available with us to be able to generate the output that is reliable for finance. We're still early in our journey from that build perspective because if you think about it, right, we are still working on optimizing the operational cost of these agents and the cost of running those SLMs and LLMs to make the solution affordable. And of course, there are a lot of concerns around the hygiene aspects of it, which is around the data encryption, the access control, and the audit trails with the underlying, explanation that how the outputs are kind of arrived at and what data is exposed to the customer at a user level, etc. Right? So there are some of these challenges still exist. Now coming back to the adoption part of it, right, and what is the kind of cultural mind shift that is required, right? So what we started from was not the point that, what can AI do, right? We started from the fact that, what is really the challenges that the finance team there is facing, right? Considering that the finance team there is perennially overworked and performing all of these manual tasks, right? We saw a very receptive response from our from our customers, and also from the progressive finance leaders, to kind of see that there is an opportunity for AI to actually contribute to improve the quality of the work that is done by the finance team overall. But there are still a lot of apprehensions, but I think we have a good starting point focused on the solution rather than what can AI do with that. Now, what lies in the future? So as I already called out, there are definitely a lot of apprehensions. But if I were to just focus on, for once, the opportunities that lies, right? I think there are a lot of other kind of agents that we can build in the finance domain, whether these are the AP agents for the purpose of document processing, whether these are AR agents, which is receivable side to be able to handle things like disputes, etc. There is also one big opportunity that lies on the analytics side of it. So traditional FP&A businesses always had this challenge that whatever data analytics platform that you build, right, it was always static in nature. You want a change, you have to always either involve somebody who is very, very technical internally, or you had to rely on external consultants. But with the help of AI, I think that cycle can be cut short drastically, to be able to do a faster planning, scenario based analysis, to identify opportunities by itself, getting, to be able to handle the risk side of things and being able to forecast things better. So, a lot of opportunities in FP&A will get, changed drastically with the help of AI. That's from the opportunity perspective. But I think there is also one big change that is going to happen when it comes to, again, the way old way of B2B SaaS was working, and the way, the AI powered B2B SaaS is going to work in the future, especially around the monetization part of it, right? So I believe that the charging model over time would shift from a per seat kind of a pricing basis to more of a, the outcome based pricing. Like, what did that AI agent deliver? I think based on that, you will be able to charge to the customer based on the outcome that is delivered. But I think, yeah, still early days. I think a long way to go. And the future is definitely exciting. And we are excited about it as well at Zen Statement. Thank you.